Imagine you put all your money, time, and effort into this one investment. This was your one investment. You had one shot and you lost it all. Today, I'm going to explain to you what happened on my first deal when I lost thousands of dollars and how I turned that around to make it to a success. So you guys know I'm already a licensed real estate agent and investor, but what a lot of you don't know is that I'm also a professional pilot. That's actually the main reason I got into real estate in the first place. The company I used to work for had many pilots that were in need of short-term housing that was close to the airport. So I went and I looked for a house so I could provide housing for these pilots. That was my business plan. But what I didn't see coming was the COVID pandemic and how that was going to furlough 80% of the company, which was my potential tenants. So when I got into the house, I was able to get one tenant and I was 25% occupied. In other words, I was 75% vacant. So 3 out of the 4 units were empty and I was hoping that I'd have a full house. But because of the pandemic, I wasn't able to achieve that. So for 9 months, I was in this situation losing about $1,500 a month. I was stuck on doing it this way and I didn't want to open it up to the general public because I was scared of how that was going to go and I didn't want to just share my house with strangers. I was more looking to do that with coworkers. So the big shift happened when I pivoted away from my original strategy to only rent to pilots. When I realized that this wasn't working and I was being stubborn, I shifted to the new strategy of publicly marketing to other tenants, other than pilots. And soon after that, about a month after, I was able to get another 2 tenants in there. So now I was 75% occupied and I was profiting $800 a month. And then another 2 months after that, I had the house fully occupied 100% and I was profiting $1,800 a month. So soon after I shifted the strategy, I was able to turn a $13,000 a year loss into $16,000 of profit. The reason I took so long to make that shift was because I had a lot of fears. Fears of the unknown, things that can go wrong with tenants that I just didn't really know. I didn't know how to screen them properly. What if they, didn't get along? I had all of these concerns. And after I addressed those concerns, I was able to make that shift. One of my biggest concerns was obviously the COVID pandemic and how that was going to impact everyone living together in that house. I didn't think I could actually get tenants to live in this type of situation during the pandemic. But I was very wrong because within a month, I was able to turn that around very quickly. One of the softwares that I use to screen tenants is called Rent Prep. There's a lot of them out there, but that's my favorite one. It does a background check and a credit check all in one. And I use that to make sure that my tenants are in good standing and that they have decent credit, so I have confidence that they're going to pay on time. And I also look at how much they make. A general rule of thumb as a landlord is take 3 times the rent amount, and that's about how much they should make in a month gross. If they make less, that's okay, but you need to look at the whole picture. So take a look at their credit, their income, their references, all of that. Do your due diligence, especially in a situation where you're living in the house with them. You want to make sure that everyone gets along and that they're going to pay on time. So imagine I implemented this new strategy from the beginning and I wasn't so stubborn on sticking to my original business plan. I could have saved myself thousands of dollars. So what's the big takeaway? The big takeaway is adapt. Adapt and adjust, be open-minded and flexible. I was very rigid and very stubborn, and that cost me a lot of money. So the biggest lesson that I can take away from this and that I wish you guys will learn is don't be stuck on your original ideas and plans to get to your goal. Remember, you want to reach your goal. It doesn't matter which way you get there. So this strategy made a lot of money for me and it was doing great. But the downside was that there's a lot of turnover with these month-to-month tenants. So after 2 years, I decided to change the strategy yet again to meet my personal needs. So in the next video, stick around to see how I used a different real estate strategy to make just as much money, but a lot more passively. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. I'm going to leave the rent prep software in the description below if you're interested in that. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. I'll see you next time.